going on, Jerome's? So it's been a tough season to be a Vikings fan. You know, the 7-10, all the injuries, all the games that were just given away now. And so it was super frustrating. Obviously, the Vikings losing 6 out of 7 games at the end of the season didn't help their playoff prospects. But something you'll notice is that basically every single week, the last month of the season, every single game that could have gone against the Vikings did go against the Vikings. And it was rough. It was rough, man. But long story longer, getting into Sunday's Super Wildcard weekend, it was not good. It was not good to be a Vikings fan on Sunday, and it's tough. And the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers looking like they allegedly found their third straight franchise quarterback, beating the absolute piss out of the Cowboys. Piss. I don't know. I don't see it as the Packers winning. I see it as the Cowboys losing, and then the Packers losing next week against San Francisco. We'll take that, man. Yeah. But something that's so funny from this game. So Donon Bland, who earned first-team All-Pro honors because he had like 75,000 pick sixes this year. So he got cooked. He got absolutely destroyed, cooked, and it was just he got lit up. And there was a lot of criticism for him being first-team All-Pro. You can't deny the pick sixes, but, I mean, there's something about just being a good cover corner. Like, there's something about being in the area of a Sauce Gardner, of a L'Jarius Sneed when he keeps his helmet on, or Jalen Johnson is certainly up there too. But I don't know, man. Also, what was tough is Sunday night, the Lions. Whatever. So the Lions get a win at home against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. And no, the Lions fans would be like, whoa, calls have gone against the Lions for years. But there was some egregious officiating at the end of this game. Lions, frankly, should have been on their heels, and the Rams should have been in a spot where they could have kicked the game-winning field goal. But it is what it is. And also, Kirby freaking Joseph. Man. All right, so Kirby Joseph goes low. And yes, in the NFL nowadays, it disincentivizes defensive backs to go high, so because you'll get fined. So by nature, beep, bop, boop, they go low, but that doesn't make things much better. And offensive players will tell you they'd rather you hit them in the head than on the knee or down low. But Kirby Joseph, the Lions safety, took out Hawkinson's knee about a month ago, and then towards the end of the game, when the Rams are rolling, by the way, Tyler Higbee gets his knee taken out. It's still TBD what the damage for that is going to be, but I mean that was a game changer too, because Tyler Higbee, a very reliable receiver over the middle, and I know him getting taken out of the game, did that impact things? Certainly. It's possible, man. But the whole thing about it, too, is that it seemed like throughout the game, the Lions were being habitual line steppers yet again. And also, speaking of officiating, so this call that didn't get picked up, or Stafford getting rocked, like it's all about quarterback safety unless it's Matthew Stafford. All right, so he gets rocked, hit in the head, and stepped on by Hutchinson. I don't know, man. I don't know. But, I mean, congrats to the Lions. Cool, but I think we know. I think we know where the biting kneecaps the theorem came from and motif, whatever. But what's annoying too, so you know that the national media slobbers over the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers, but over the last 2 years, they've really kissed the Lions' ass and tried to make them into a thing. But, I mean, it's so gross. I mean, you see Rap Sheet talking about the Packers. You see the way Schefter tweeted this out. Quite the journey. Detroit deserves it. All right, so if you're supposed to be an objective Big J journalist, and now, yes, Schefter went to the University of Michigan, so by osmosis, I'm sure there's some bias there, but 92 Lions last playoff win. Oh, wait, the Lions finished 0-16. Okay. Hey, you know what the quarterback on the team was? Dante. 2024, first playoff win in 32 years. And everyone's saying, oh, the Lions deserve it. Do they really? Do they really? I mean, here's the whole thing, too. If and when the Vikings win the Super Bowl next year, you know what Schefter's tweet's going to be? The Minnesota Vikings have secured the bottom pick of the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft at number 32 overall. That's going to be it. Or, the Vikings will win a thrilling Super Bowl by 1 point, and all the national media jabroni haircuts will be like, oh, the Vikings set the record for smallest margin of victory in a Super Bowl. Or tied it, I guess. It's just so dumb. So dumb, man. But happier news. So C.J. Stroud is ripping the cover off the ball. He's doing fantastic work as a rookie. He must have been the first quarterback drafted in his class. But also a little bit overlooked factor. So Jerrod Johnson, the Texans quarterbacks coach, has been getting a lot of love and respect for the way that he's helped C.J. Stroud come in and just be a player right away. And Jerrod Johnson, if you remember, was the Vikings assistant quarterbacks coach last year. He also interviewed for the Chargers OC job last offseason. So another rising star. Again, any assistant who touches the Vikings coaching tree goes on to great success. So, you look at Tony Dungy, you look at Buddy Ryan, you look at Pete Carroll, you look at Brian Billick, you look at Tomlin, and you just watch. Jerrod Johnson's going to become a head coach very soon, and then he's going to win a Super Bowl as a head coach. Right. Remember, Jerrod Johnson, Texas A&M alum, he was brought in to work with Kellen Mond specifically because Kellen Mond, another Aggie, had broken all of Jerrod Johnson's records at Texas A&M. How'd that work out? I mean, you couldn't even make Kellen Mond like a serviceable quarterback too? Come on, man. Shoot. Divisional round games Saturday. So I always like the divisional round because it's, yes, there's fewer games than Super Wildcard Weekend, but you have the two best teams in each conference. Well, you have the best team in each conference, so they got the 1 seed and the bye, and then you got teams that have won a playoff game. So you got the creme de la creme. You got the Texans at the Ravens or the Chiefs, and then you got Packers, Niners on Saturday night. So I like that the Packers have one less day, short week, for the execution. Niners open up as 9.5-point favorites. Sunday, the winner of Eagles-Bucks at the Lions. Whatever. And then you have the Chiefs at Bills or Steelers at Ravens. So that's TBD what happens with that 2-7 matchup with the Bills-Steelers game that got delayed. So either way, there's going to be some good football. Speaking of good football, so many people were pissed off that the wild card game on Saturday night was on Peacock. Now, it's their prerogative. I mean, NBC and Peacock, they paid good money for that playoff game, and so I sort of compared it to all the Thursday night games going to Amazon Prime. We got a lot of pushback. It's like, oh, Amazon Prime does other stuff. Fully understand that, but also, Peacock $6 a month, and I guess well, selfishly, it wasn't that big of a deal for me since we have Peacock because the wife loves The Office, as well as most of the Premier League games that aren't on like USA channel are on Peacock. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but I understand it. Like especially older viewers. I mean, some old people don't even have internet in their house. Like the wife's parents, like they don't have internet in the house. They just got regular cable. So Thursday Night Football is tough. Peacock's kind of tough. But it's so funny, like, hey, we won't spend $6 for the streaming platform that we can just cancel, but we're going to go out and watch the game at a bar and spend $100. And then this is what we do. Spend $250 on pull tabs and then pull 100 is like, we got them. No, but I'll always do pull tabs where it says specifically it benefits like local organizations. Yeah, do that. But yeah, Front Office Sports, NBC just announced that the Chiefs-Dolphins game on Peacock was the most streamed event in U.S. history with an audience of 23 million. So all the people who pissed and moaned about a game being streamed on Peacock, specifically a playoff game, you're going to get more games and more playoff games on Peacock. I mean, numbers are what they are. People are going to watch. And we're going to go kicking and screaming, but we're going to watch ball. That's what happened, man. Speaking of ball, Minnesota Fighting Timberwolves got themselves a great win at home against the Clippers. Where, the Clippers with the beard and also with Westbrook, who's a very solid 20-40 player, he got a lot better. He used to be kind of bad, but now he's like tight, aggressive, pretty nice, a little bit tricky too. As well as Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They're a quasi super team. They would have been really good like 5 years ago, but the Clippers are still doing work. They're still a tier 1 team, and the Wolves had a great defensive game. Anthony Edwards took over at times, had some bad turnovers too. Jaden Daniels had himself probably one of the better games of his career, stayed out of foul trouble. Cat had the dunk of the year. Just between the legs, no big deal. And Rudy Gobert at the line got a modicum of revenge on the Clippers, so it was great. It was great. And it's another big-time game that the Wolves are going to have, and against a big-time opponent. It felt like a playoff game. So props to that. And again, it's the only thing of joy that we have because the Packers won and the Lions won. Oh, but it ruined their draft position. Don't care. You do not want your rivals winning playoff games. Period. Endo storio. But also, we're this close to having a monopoly on Jaden Daniels and also Jaden McDaniels, because got the Wolves, the pride of Washington, one of the best perimeter, if not the best perimeter defenders in the league, as long as he isn't punching walls. And then got Jaden Daniels, where I think just watching CJ Stroud and the Vikings potentially moving up for Anthony Richardson last offseason reportedly, I think the Vikings see the value of Jaden Daniels. I think that Kwesi's going to roll the dice. I think that he wants to move all the way up. Going to go get his guy, and we'll go from there, man. We'll see. But Monday, so Steelers and Bills in the afternoon window. Now, it's still going to be snowy, and it's still going to be cold, but okay. Either way, we'll see what happens. I believe the Steelers are still 10-point dogs. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So, I mean, double-digit points, even with Mason Rudolph, could be valuable. But I think the Bills, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I mean, the Bills are dangerous. Won 5 straight. So they were 6-6 at the bye, and then the whole story about Sean McDermott a number of years ago saying that, hey, you guys should have teamwork like the 9/11 terrorists. And they've been undefeated ever since. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But I don't know. I'm actually kind of rooting for the Bills, even though my Super Bowl pick was the Ravens over the Niners. But we'll see. And then you got Eagles and the Bucks. The Eagles are absolute frauds, and they're hurt, and they're banged up. And I want to see Nick Sirianni fired. So go Baker if he plays. Go Todd Bowles. Go Buccaneers defense. Beat the piss out of them. Let's go, man. Let's go. But yeah, overall, tough weekend. Tough weekend to be a Vikings fan, but sort of par for the course at this point, isn't it? Anyways, that's it. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. Monday, Vikings news dump. You know what to do. Skull, production value.